You're listening to 90.8 Hills FM Radio.
This is 90.8 Hills FM radio station, using our voice to rate your choice. Stay tuned.
90.8 Hills FM, in partnership with Task Force for Music and Arts, presents TaFMA Thursday. Stay tuned to listen to local artists every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on 90.8 Hills FM.
Hi, good evening, and we are back to another series of the TaFMA Thursday. And this is live. Thank you so much, Lim, for taking on and carrying on with the music section and leading us to this introduction. And what more to say, but we are grateful to TaFMA for always making it possible for us to introduce our artists, and a great platform to get to know them better, a little bit about the personal stories, but definitely a more detailed on how the journey has been. And we're grateful to every person who comes to our studio to share their story, because each one of us are storytellers of our own life book. And we're fortunate today to have Lanukaba Lemtur. Who is he? He's a singer, he's a songwriter, a very versatile individual who's based in Dimapur here in Nagaland, and has completed the Masters of Arts in Education and is currently a teacher trainee. And now that's definitely a different side of him as a singer. So we will hear more about his journey, how he landed up studying something and he's doing something, but definitely a passion for both. Well, he has released several originals, which today we would be listening to some of them at the end of our program, where he will also share about what inspired and the storyline behind every song he wrote, including an EP into 2022 called While I'm Healing, and its lead single, You Are Mine, being sung and played in numerous weddings and other occasions. So that seems to be a very popular demand. And with the season coming in with winter wind towards us, Lanukaba is totally booked. As I asked him, hey, how's your September? And he said, well, it's looking good, I'm booked. So you may be seeing less of him very soon, but you will surely find him in some of the occasions that is coming up. His latest release is Shine, and it's a collab with Nentong Konyak, which I'm told he is a rapper. So more on that side, but definitely a long hi and welcome to Lanukaba to our studio. Lanu, please.
Hi everyone, Lanu here.
So Lanu, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling nervous, but the good nervous.
Okay, the good nervous.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited.
Great. So I want to give the liberty for you to start the conversation how you want it to go first. The key is yours.
Right. First of all, thank you so much for introducing me in that way. And yeah, how do we start? I'm a singer-songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
I sing loud.
Mm-hmm.
When I sing, I'm ugly. Also, I said I am a teacher trainee studying under POSCO College of Teacher Education. Yeah.
So how does, arts, in education, you did your master's in education, and then you're a teacher trainee, and alongside you are also a singer-songwriter. How do you balance these three, in fact?
I think it all comes down to commitment and time management. So yeah, obviously I'm not perfect at it, but I'm trying, and I think the trying is kind of working. Yeah, so the trying is working. It's commitment and time management. Yeah, I would say.
And once you finish your, the B.Ed, what's your next plan?
All right. So after my B.Ed, I think I'm planning, if God's will, then I am planning to work as an assistant professor, which by God's grace, I cleared my net this year.
Woohoo!
So yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
Kudos. So happy to know that. See, you are actually having a lot of multiple heads, on your head, and like you said, it's all about balancing time management. So let's rewind a little bit, Lanu. What led you to, studying what you studied, but alongside the music, your passion for music. Would you mind sharing a little bit about how your childhood was, who inspired you, and led to where you are right now?
Sure. So, okay, music first. I've been singing since my childhood. Actually, my mom forced me to sing in a church program. So yeah,
Typical mom.
I went up. I think almost beat my pants, but yeah, I sang. Then high school, I lost a lot of competitions, of course. But yeah, I took it seriously only during my higher secondary days when cheesy but two bands from the school approached me to be the vocalist. So I was in the middle, feeling all hi-fi. But yeah, after performing with them, I totally fell in love with music, and I really felt that it was something I was meant to do. And I always wanted to share my stories, tell my stories, but I never really knew how to until music came my way. So yeah, that's about my music journey. And till now, I think it's going good. I've released multiple originals on EP, and I'm looking forward to release more. So that's about my music. When it comes to my studies, I first of all never ever thought that I'll be taking B.Ed, neither masters, but everything just goes according to His will, capital H, God. So yeah, I'm here with His will, and I don't plan anything. I'm ready to go on His way. Yeah.
So that's interesting when you say that you follow God's will, in all the things that you do, and and you also clarified by saying capital H, which often we don't do, right? So thank you so much for honoring that. Alongside, when you talk about your childhood and of course how it started, and now that you've finished your B.Ed and you got through your net, and then you're still equally passionate about your music, creating music. What actually inspires you to write your songs?
Feelings, emotions, my experiences really inspires me to write my own songs, because I really feel that there are a lot of people out there who feels the most, but they do not have a platform or a voice like I have, or I'm privileged about. I'm privileged to have. So there's also one side that inspires me to be the voice for the unheard, for those who bury their thoughts within themselves. So yeah, my experiences, emotions, and wanting to be the voice for people that are unheard is what keeps me going and inspires me.
Wow. And how would you describe yourself? Are you an introvert, an extrovert, a mixture of both, or which other?
Well, I am a sunny day at the same time. When it's sunny but it's raining, I am that. I'm introvert with selected people. I'm extrovert with selected people. I'm loud in one place. I'm very silent in the other. So yeah, I'll be in the corner in one place. I'll be on the stage in another. So yeah, a mixture of both.
So no wonder you are actually described as a versatile, personality. And who actually, or how did it help you to actually face your fears? Because we have often seen a lot of the musicians, they are an amazing artist when they're on the stage. It's magical. But some actually find difficulty on one-to-one conversations and also public conversations. What is your opinion on that? As a musician, where do you think, how do you think they can improve in these social handlings? Because definitely one cannot continue facilitating for musicians, right? Musicians have to speak for themselves. What can help in public speaking, or do you think that that's something that it's not a priority for artists?
I think when you're an artist, you have to tell your side of your story. So it's important to speak out. Also, how do you overcome your fear? Well, I'm in no place to speak about that because I myself, I fear having a conversation like this or an interview like this. But I think when you're not scared to fail, that will keep you going. When you are not scared to be uncomfortable, that will keep you going, and that will open up doors for you and to also overcome your fears. So yeah.
So, which also is the question, what made you say yes to our interview? What convinced you?
Accident. Just kidding. All right. I agreed because first of all, like I said, I fear having conversations like this. But at the same time, as I said, I'm an artist. I have to tell my side of the story. A song maybe out there, every person has different take on a song. But when I share my experience, my story behind the song, I think that becomes more meaningful than just listening to the song. So that's what actually encouraged me to be here, to tell my side of the story. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. And we are immensely privileged, and honored with your presence today. And having TaFMA Thursday is plainly for this, to celebrate artists, artists of different kinds, not just musicians, but people. There are hundreds of forms of artists out there, and I think
Yes.
this creative side has to be celebrated, has to be made
For
known,
sure.
to give hope,
Yes.
to heal wounds, to spread love, friendship, and the sense of unity, a sense of belonging. And I think the songs, the paintings, people who are artistic talks a lot about being human, and we do often feel that what TaFMA Thursday has been doing over the last, I think this is the 6th month, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we're grateful for TaFMA to think of giving us the liberty to actually welcome any kind of artist that falls under the artist banner to come and share their stories, use this platform, and make themselves visible. And I think such opportunities are very rare these days. So we're grateful for an office like that who thinks largely and holistically. And we had the liberty to actually welcome people, So I think that kind of collaboration helps all of us, using all kinds of platforms, because we often say that, oh, the platform not buy. But when platforms are there, when people are not ready to take, but to be ready, we need to be prepared from both sides, right? And how do we also make people who are willing to come, make them comfortable and make use of that space holistically? I think that's,
True.
and wholesomely. So, Lanu, with that, Hills FM is about the voice of change. As a musician, and how has your voice made an impact in your family? Did they see you differently? Or is there something that you can share with us that has had a positive impact with your loved ones?
Well, first of all, like I said, my mom pushed me to sing in a church program. So definitely there's a support. We don't often see a lot of families supporting musicians. But my family, they are very much supportive of it, first of all. And as far as talking about impact, I think there is something in everything to be celebrated. So when they see me, even if it's in a very small amount, being celebrated, my works being celebrated, that gives them a sense of joy and also an assurance that he is doing something that he loves. At the same time, he is also telling his story, which sometimes even within family we cannot tell ourselves. So that's something impactful that music has done for me, personally for me and for my family. And through music I also tell my story, which I cannot tell them. especially in songs like Still Love Me, The Prayer. Those are very confessional songs that I cannot just tell them, but music has helped me to tell them. Yeah.
And what has been some of, messages that people have said to you when they listen to your song, or how they have seen you grown and what you have become? Any such encouraging words that you would like to share with us?
Sure. All right. First of all, when it comes to my music, even before my family, I would give my full-on praises to my friends. Well, they will be there for me anytime, anywhere. They are my support system. Of course, family is there supporting me, encouraging me. But then when it comes to technology, our family they're not very techno people. So my friends are the one who pushes all my songs, supports by listening. And when it comes to my growth, they have seen me from my scratch. So they have always encouraged me. And now that I'm doing maybe a little better, I would say, of course, in a very unequistic way. So yeah, now that I'm doing better, they are really proud of me, and they always give me encouraging words to never stop. There was one point of time while I was making my EP that I even thought of not dropping the EP, and I also thought of scrapping up all the songs, throwing it away. But my friends, they pushed me, helped me even through my darkest days of, especially when it comes to mental health. So yeah, they are the biggest support, and till date, they are here for me.
So you said about mental support. Now that's something huge. Because we have had series of conversation on mental health, and we're also seeing a lot of progressive conversation on individuals and institutions talking about mental health, how it is so important. So thank you so much, Lanu, for highlighting that, because that is equally important for us to be making that part of. I mean, I've had my own issues, but nothing like when we share, we find support system, right? And so how has that, as you've said that you've got a lot of support system, you are so blessed. I've been also very blessed in that sense. But a lot of people who go through the struggle don't have that kind of support system. They're judged, they're humiliated, they are laughed, they're not understood, too much of advices, too much of do's and don'ts, and a lot of how to say, fences around, even if they don't make themselves available to these kind of people who needs help, and neither a lot of people do a lot of research on this, and they just make one-liner conclusions about the individual. But if a lot of awareness and sensitization happens on this particular topic, and for people like us, including you and me in this journey, if we talk about our stories of how we have recovered, or we're recovering, I think that would actually help people find healing, that, hey, I'm not alone in this journey. There are people out there. So how have you been able to respond to these challenges? Of course, you've got the support, but at the end of the day, it's you alone who has to face the day. So what basically, can you be more specific if you'd like to answer this? Because mental health is very broad. It could help any listener today if they can relate with your story.
All right, sure. Mental health, I think it's a very big term. At the same time, it's so big that I don't think we see it around us. It's mental health issues are there with us, just like wind. We don't see it, but we have it. So, and also to talk about mental health, I'm no expert, I'm no professional, but at the same time, I'm an experienced person who have gone through it. My story, your story will be very different from each other, but I think sharing my part is an assurance that you are not alone. So, well, how did I get through it? First of all, like I said, my friends, they really supported me. And for me, I have an outlet as in writing, as in singing, composing the songs, but I really do imagine how people will be going through it. For those people who don't have an outlet. So I think one way that I got through that state was not being scared of failing, of at the same time not at the same time thinking that in this world, and now I have made this a lyric of mine from an unreleased song, but in this world, no one has got it all. No one has got it all. So, with that being said, just keep on trying. Just try to do things that you love. It might go wrong, it might go right. No lesson is a mistake. So, just remember that no one has got it all. Please accept your mistakes as a lesson, not as something negative or that will have a negative impact on you. So, yeah, no one has got it all.
Thank you, Lanu, for that encouragement and making our listeners, and including Ben and me, to feel that, not everyone gets it, get it all. And in the beginning of our conversation offline, we were talking about I'm ready with my vulnerability. And I think, dear listeners, Lanu's life story, inspired me to actually make my conversation with Lanu as, we must be ready with our vulnerability, because that's our strength. We find our strength and we actually embrace our weaknesses, and we rise up, from those ashes of feeling not worthy. And I think every one of us go through that phase. The question is, what do you do during that phase? How do we work it out, our way up, and are we inspiring one another? There's a lot of quotation that goes around in many of the social medias, where every page you see, people are actually encouraging. They're telling their stories of hope. They're telling the stories of kindness. They're talking about compassion. And you pause and reflect and you realize that, oh my goodness, what part am I playing? Am I the hope giver? Am I kinder? Am I a compassionate person? What light am I giving more, to goodness or to evil? And I think that's something that we need to look at social media more from the positive, as a positive tool, and do away with negative information that is actually killing our soul, killing our spirit, to do better, because it is so consuming that it can actually lead to a dark place. And I think a lot of people, parents, children, everyone is getting trapped into this dark side of social media, Lanu. So having said that, now you said that you're actually a teacher, you're a trainee. So let's hear something. How's been your experience on that? Because you've done your master's and now you're doing your B.Ed, and you also said about being a professor, and we pray that you do become a good professor. But I can definitely imagine your class to be very, very energetic, because the experience that I've had with you in just short while, it's something that I think I would love to be in your class.
Wow.
So why do you choose professor? Why do you think that teaching is something that you feel that it's going to do good to you?
Well, I like giving. I like sharing. And as far as when it comes to teaching, I really do feel and accept that teaching is one of the most noblest profession that you can be in. Teaching is not just uttering whatever is written on the text, not just putting up information or knowledge inside your students. It's molding them. You are being an artist even there. And me being an artist, apart from teaching, I really feel like when it comes to teaching, I can be an artist there also. I can mold, I can help them mold, not really mold them, they can mold themselves, but I can help them in the right way. So that is what inspires me to get into this teaching profession. And also, teaching has also to do with a lot of respect, dedication. So I'm ready to dive into this, be an artist for and also be an inspiration for the students. I'm ready to help them mold, to be them, to be their authentic self. So that is why I love to get into this profession.
And with that note, how was your education like? Because a lot of your education also shapes you, right? And in Nagaland, we have a culture of mugging up. Did you come from that culture of mugging up?
Initially,
Yeah. And how did you change? How did that change in your education system as you grew?
so my foundation is, first of all, I studied my nursery to class 3 in village. So of course not a very good foundation. We all know the condition of schools in villages, so it was not really good. But my dear aunt, mom's sister, she called me to come and study here in Dimapur. So I came here at my 4th standard and studied at 5 year. And after my 10th, I studied at Christian, 11, 12. So I think initially my foundation or education, as we may prefer, it was not really very high level. At the same time, it was all about marking up. Like you said, like you mentioned, I did not know how to speak in English till I came here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for
Aw.
a whole year till my class 4 whole year, I just knew some few words, and it was really hard for me to converse with my friends. So yeah, foundation was not really good, but I'm really blessed to have my aunt who actually called me, and I stayed there with them for like 7-8 years till
Oh,
my high school.
okay.
Yeah.
That's how you started off.
So I think initially it was not really good, but I was blessed. Yeah. Now.
I'm glad. And you were blessed and lucky enough to have someone to build that foundation. You see, my grandpa, he often said that, and I didn't understand then yet, but he did say that, when the Montessori, the primary section is so important for your foundation, that if this base is not there, if this foundation is not strengthened, no matter how much good education you have at the later stage, it's going to be very difficult.
True.
And we seem to be neglecting this part of the education system, where Montessoris are just looked at as a playful ground.
Yes.
Definitely it's a playful ground, but that is the foundation of our shaping of our brain, of our thought process. And that seems to be taken for granted, Lando. And I
Yes,
think
true.
with your story where it speaks about, how you said that, you studied in the village, my dear brother, it's still the same. Our primary schools are just like any other playground, and the education system is as such that we're still mugging up.
True,
and I
true.
say this because I recently attended a pageant, all right, and it was my first, and I kind of changed the structure of the script question, for which I realized that the contestants were already aware about the
prepared.
answers. I mean, aware about the questions, so they had somehow prepared the answers. So I did a little shifting with the consent
Clever
of the
of you.
other two judges, and I said, let's play a little bit here. And we wanted to see, because we don't want to mug up answers and a script version, because that is something that, wouldn't be right, to crown somebody. So what happened was, each one of us decided, and in the next round, after a couple of rounds, we curated our own questions. Oh, believe me, some were very smart and added humor to it, but some were very good in a couple of rounds, and the moment we changed questions, which was not part of the script questions, they just couldn't respond. See, that's what I'm saying, that our education system is as such that we are teaching our students to just mug up and not use their beautiful brain. Conversations, we're not able to hold conversations.
True.
We're not able to have a good, healthy argument. And I think these are some of the things that we can see in our social media, where our anger, our frustration, and
Negative.
our short-temperedness, our toxic behavior and attitude is reflected in the way we respond to situations. So I think you being in the education right now, where your keen interest is as it's growing, and your future plan is to become a professor. Well, I do hope and pray that Lanu, in your own capacity, and of course, whether you join a college or university, that's a different thing for your teaching. But I hope and pray that you would keep this in mind with your own personal
Yes, yes.
experience and the importance of education, how organic it should be, but at the same time, how do we help our people to have simple conversations, you know? It's not a hard and fast rule, you see? And that's something that's very close to my heart. And now that I know that you're interested in this line, I think this is something that we both need to look at
True.
collectively. Well, we've spoken about your childhood, we've spoken about your high school, we've spoken about family, we've spoken about music, we've also spoken about, I mean, the best highlight of it is that your mom pushing you and making you sing with something that you didn't want to do, but look where you are. And I think that's the beauty of it. So sometimes you need a little harder push, you know.
True.
So Lanu, let's help our listeners listen to your songs, as you have said about, you know, some of the originals. So what is the first song that you wish us to play?
All right. I think I'll start with The Prayer.
The prayer?
Yeah.
Would you like to share what the prayer is about? A little background?
Sure. So it's a very short song. I think just 1 minute, some seconds. And I wrote this past 12 a.m. I was in a state where I felt like every aspect of me, it be physical, mental, spiritual, every aspect of my life was just falling down. So I just couldn't hold that night. I wrote this with a little bit of tears, of course. So I could not stop myself. Also thinking about future and where I'm going wrong. In fact, everything was going wrong for me that time. I was thinking that way, not really going wrong, but I thought everything was just falling apart, everything was just going wrong. But then I just felt the need to pray. And when I prayed, things just started to fade away. Those depressive thoughts just faded away. And so I just sat on my keys and started writing the song, and that's how this song came about. So it did not come from a very good place, but looking back at it, I'm glad I went through that. So here is the I'm broken again. Need to find my way back. I've tried to run, but my darkness keep calling my name. Please, 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 I need peace, peace, peace. Oh Lord, 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 can you hear my call?
So Ben just reminded by saying that, well, what's the next song? So the prayer. Well, Lanu, you spoke about the prayer, and how has that led after you reflected? You know, because you just said, you know, when you thought about it and you said this was coming from a very sad, dark place, and you wrote that song, but it also inspired you to write your thoughts. I mean, the way it was channeled, right? It became a song, you know? I mean, most of us, when we are in dark places, we do land up doing something darker. So thank you for writing this song. And I would love to listen to that song again more intentionally, because I think these are intentional songs when it comes to original,
True.
you know, lyrics that you write, because it's coming from emotions, feelings, experiences, and a place and a situation that inspires you. It's an urge, you know, that I need to do something about it. And making that into music is so beautiful. So what is the next song that you want us to lead with?
Well, it's something called You Are Mine.
Ooh, You're Mine.
I literally met someone mine.
Mhm.
All right, so very cheesy story, but I was in love with this person. Funny part, we never met.
Okay. No wonder it was cheesy.
Yeah, but the love that I received from this person was very much something new, something fresh, something that I never experienced, and it was everything that I looked for in a person. So anyway, we broke up. So
Before even
but
meeting?
yes,
Are you freaking serious? Well, that's kind of a love story there.
we have our we had our ups and downs, but yeah, that person made me feel in such a way that I really wanted to give my everything to that person. As the lyric says, I've been thinking of all the ways to love you, not just one way, not just this way or that way, all the ways to love you. So that little butterfly thing brought out this song, and I'm glad this song has been actually played. Irony is, more people sang this song than I actually sang in weddings and
Wow.
occasions. So, which is something I'm really happy about, and I would say I'm proud about, because humility is really operated in Nagaland. I'm really proud of my work, doing good, and yeah, that's about this. You Are Mine.
If I say I love you, will you love me the same? Might never give you a fortune, but I promise you happiness. Forever doesn't seem long if it is to be with you. Storms will be upon us, but there's a home we can make. 'Cause I've been thinking of all the ways to love you. Just take my hand, 'cause I know you are mine. Oh, oh, you are mine. mine.
Tune in to Hills FM Radio, your ultimate storm safe guide.
Are you ready to keep the fun indoors when the skies grow wild?
The Nagaland State Disaster Management Authority brings you essential lightning safety tips to protect you and your loved ones.
Stay cozy and updated with local media for lightning alerts while keeping away from doors, windows, and electrical conductors during thunderstorms.
Unplug those gadgets, secure your surroundings, and party indoors.
Keep the kiddos and furry pals safe inside, away from open vehicles and structures.
Join us on Hills FM Radio, where safety meets entertainment.
Stay informed, stay protected.
So Lanu, thank you so much for writing the song, You're Mine. And what really intrigued me to ask you this question is now, well, we could start giving about it, but how do you associate yourself with 14 February, Valentine's Day? Because partner, I mean, seriously, listeners, don't you think that Lanu has actually broken the record that he has not met this person but fell in love with all the ups and downs? I mean, this is an epic love story. So I'm asking Lanu that how does he feel when 14 February comes and when he is singing this song, what goes through his mind? So Lanu, please entertain our listeners.
Valentine's Day, it's actually a very good day for me because the song gets to be played in
Again
a lot
and
of
again.
places. And I
At
get
the
a
expense
little
of your
payment for
heartbreak.
that.
Oh, you're getting paid for that. Oh dear.
So yeah. Personally, I really don't have a thing for Valentine's Day. I mean, I never saw it as like a special day to show your love. I think we can show our love to our loved ones every day, yeah. So why a specific day? Also, what more?
So what do you land up doing on 14 Feb when the rest of the population at some section are celebrating the love for one another, you know? What do you do on that day normally?
Well,
Don't tell
What
me
do
that
I
you
do?
listen to your song and cry.
no. I don't
Or-
listen to my songs.
Oh, wait. You're playing this song and you're actually being paid for it.
Yes. That's
exactly.
last Valentine's Day I got called to a show. So yeah, I sang the song. I got some payment. So
Well, I think, listeners, this is beautiful because the joy of laughing about it is, you know, we all go through different phases. Okay, Lano is totally lost it right now. He's laughing his heart out. But I was just telling Lanu offline as we were listening to his song that, you know, thank God that his the situation of broken heart, because there are a lot of people who have not recovered from their broken heart, you know, and we've seen them either they've got into alcohol, they've got into drugs, they've really they've really screwed themselves off, you know, and that's something that we feel that as young people, that if we have not experienced heartbroken in our lives, we're not going to become a better people, you know. You got to experience cracks in your life to become more resilient and better people, you know. And I think this is something a lot of young people are not able to cope with emotions. I mean, I was one with a wreck, you know. I think I went through, I don't know how many boats has gone down the sink in the ocean, but I'm here, I'm alive, doing great stuff that makes me happy, and I still get to respect and love people more. I mean, why should a relationship not working out be the end of your life, you know? And I still go through that puppy love every time. That's because you're giving chances to yourself, and your life doesn't end because somebody does not love you back. Can we not look at it was not the right person for you, and you were not the right person for that person? You know, if we take things positively, I mean, definitely you take your time for crying, you know, saying all kinds of sort, I mean, being betrayed, cheated. But I feel that life is more than that. And if anybody has gone through a heartbreak and has recovered and has made the best out of it, I think, Lanu, you've done amazing with this song, and thank you so much for this song. And I know we were just giggling over it, we were laughing over it at the expense of your heartbreak. People have actually made it popular because they can resonate, they can feel it, because they can really relate to that journey. So thank you for that gift. And having this conversation with Lanu and getting to hear the backstory of an individual's life. I mean, all of us, and I think this is the whole purpose of having this conversation, is to encourage one another, that you as a listener and I as a speaker and Lanu as the sharer of his story, we all have a story to tell. And I think these stories that we experience shapes us to be the person we're meant to be. Lanu, I mean, of course, there are a lot more to your story, but since we are compressing in a small way, what is it that you feel that you want our listeners to know more? What inspires you, or what do you feel that it's very close to your heart?
What inspires me?
Yeah.
Inspiration, I think it's everywhere. So I won't necessarily term something or someone as my source of inspiration. I feel inspired, like we discussed, I feel inspired by my heartbreak. I feel inspired by my love. I feel inspired by just even looking at a wall, even if it's just a plain wall. I feel inspired by that. So inspiration, we have access to inspiration anywhere, anytime, I should say, even in your towns, even if it's in your apps. And my EP itself is an example of it. The EP titled "While I'm Healing." I'm not fully healed, I'm healing. So these songs are inspired from different areas. So I think I would really not term something or someone as an inspiration, but everything and anything will inspire me, or inspires me.
Thank you, Lanu. Well, we're coming to the end of the program, but not yet, until I play this 2 seconds game with you, and then we're going to close it down with a song. So what does love mean to you? One line.
Love is, all right. This is, well, girl, you put me in a space.
That's the whole intention.
Love is acceptance for me. Love is acceptance. I mean, if you accept someone as they are, that's a way of you showing them your love, you giving them a safe space, you allowing them to be fully themselves. So love is acceptance.
Beautiful. Friendship.
Friendship is sacrifice. Friendship is sacrifice. Yeah. Friendship also is family. So sacrifice and family together goes very much in balance to maintain any kind of ship. So yeah, friendship is sacrifice as well as friendship is family.
Life.
Life is living. It's not just about existing, but it's about living out your truth, trying out, discovering sides of yours that you have never seen or never expected, trying out. So life is living.
Lana, thank you so much. It's been wonderful listening to you.
I'm honored to be here.
And well, I'm sure listeners, you've enjoyed our conversation. And if you want more of such conversation, please let us know. Inbox us. Find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on 90.8 Hills FM, the voice of change. And we would love to have people that you recommend, and we would be happy to reach out to them and on popular demand. But definitely this is a space where we get to hear and be inspired and give hope and be a community. And with that note, Lanu, what is the last song that you would like us to play for our listeners?
I think we'll go for something that is very close to my heart. And even in this short span of time, I've really spoken about it, to be your authentic self. And I wrote this, oh my God, back in 2016, I guess. I had this huge argument with someone who is very near and dear to me. I don't blame them, but it was this case, and as I was also sharing about acceptance, it was this case where they were really judging me of something I'm not, and they were also bringing out things of mine that they don't accept. But I really didn't think just because they didn't accept it, it was wrong. So that is why I wrote this song, You Be You. And it was my first original. So here is You Be You. Listeners, always be yourselves.
Sometimes it's hard, but take your chance. It's never too easy. Yes, you learn from your mistakes. Tears ain't gonna stop you. It doesn't mean you are losing. You're just warming up yourself. Don't try to say you're not being you, but stand up and say to the world that they don't define you. 'Cause you are an art of a perfect God who's everywhere. Just be you. You be you. If you have been here, then you'll know what I'm singing. Oh, life really gets hard, but be easy on yourself. Oh, tears ain't gonna stop you. It doesn't mean you are losing. You're just warming up yourself. Don't try to say you're not being you, but stand up and say to the world that they don't define you. 'Cause you are an art of a perfect God who's everywhere. Just be you. You be you. Don't fake a smile, just let it out. Be wise, give love, take love. Don't try to say you're not being you, but stand up and say to the world that they don't define you. 'Cause you are an art of a perfect God who's everywhere. Just be you. You be you.
You're listening to 90.8 Hills FM Radio.
This is 90.8 Hills FM radio station, using our voice to rate your choice. Stay tuned.